Hello, Brovs. We're back with another newspaper article. This is a review of The Apple in the Dark by Clarice Lispector from the Sunday Press Enterprise from Riverside, California, June 25th, 1967. The search for communication, and I probably shouldn't read this since I plan on reading the book, even though I'm not a particular fan of Clarice Lispector. Something's telling me that I need to read it just because I'm on this wave for no reason. The Apple in the Dark by Clarice Lispector, Knopf. Publishing Alfred, I'm not sure what it was, Alfred F. Knopf? Is the F even pronounced, or is it just Knopf? Anyway, it originally was priced at $5.95. Reviewed by Fred Petersen, and I believe it has spoilers, so. Fortunately for us, all the artist is still able to deal with the great questions of man without embarrassment. I don't know what that means. Fortunately for us, all the artist is still able to deal with the great questions of man with, I don't know, it's incomplete sentence. There's something missing. For deal with, what is this talking about? For deal with the great questions. For deal with the great questions is exactly what Miss Clarice Lispector has done in this, the first novel of the Brazilian authoress to appear in English translation. In fact, if proof were any longer needed of the coming of age of Brazilian letters, and of course it is not, Gregory Rabassa's extraordinarily smooth and insightful translation of this work would furnish that proof to English-speaking audiences. The Apple in the Dark is a book that can be appreciated on many levels, but the reader who wishes a clear-cut, straightforward plot development had best beware. There is definite development in the protagonist, Martim, which is spelled wrong, I believe. No, it is Martim. But the external aspects of that movement are the things of least importance in this hugely symbolic book. We first meet Martim in a hotel room, a place which he flees in the night. He wanders in a desolate area in central Brazil and comes upon an isolated farm, a fazenda. The fazenda belongs to Vittoria, and also on the place are a hired man, Francisco, and Victoria's cousin, Ermelinda. We learn that Martim has committed, or thinks that he has committed, some sort of crime. In fact, this crime can be seen as the reason for his flight. At the end of the book, Martim leaves again at night, this time being taken to justice by 4 detectives. Before his final departure, however, he has a rather extended affair. What? As an extended affair with the dull-witted Ermelinda, and he confronts Vittoria not only with his masculinity but also with the meaning of human love. On this rather cliche-like plot structure, Miss Lispector has deftly superimposed her examination of some of the most penetrating and basic questions that man ever puts to himself. Martim's stay, looks like slay, but I believe it's stay. Martim's stay in the desert before he happens on the fazenda is his time in the primordial wilderness. He is empty, he cannot speak, he has no more feeling than a fingernail. He is a tabula rasa, he is depersonalized, an abstraction. Every man, he is in revolt against himself and against the world. He questions human intelligence, imitation, and security, and one begins to wonder if whether or not the crime to which he obliquely refers can be interpreted as original sin. He recognizes the need for habitual, repeated actions to establish a context of reality for himself, for he has destroyed life and slowly, gropingly begins to rebuild it on his own terms. and in so doing, he recapitulates human evolution. Finally, he reaches a stage where the fingernail hurts. He achieves a degree of feeling. He comes to know that not wanting is the most desperate form of wanting. He, like the female characters with whom he interacts and to whom he reacts, is, most simply stated, searching for the passion of living. And it is on this symbolic level, for how does one put such a passion into words, that Miss Lispector's book makes its most profound statement. It is through the fusion of theme and novelistic style that we finally come to see the importance of the apple in the dark. One of Martin's, see, now it's saying Martin, so I don't know. No, I think it's Martin. One of Martin's chores at the fazenda was the destruction of an old apple tree, a chore undertaken at Vittoria's orders. However, in the process of cutting down the tree, he is interrupted by Vittoria herself, interrupted as she confesses her existence to him. The tree is not cut down. In fact, it is not really severely damaged, merely wounded. In the end, it puts forth new shoots, somehow continues to grow in spite of the harm done it. And this continuity of life is the basic symbol of the entire book. We see Martin learn that everyone really knows everything, that is, intuitively. We are made to recognize the failure of thinking and the failure of reason to aid in establishing meaningful human communication. Miss Lispector's prose style is very calculatedly ambiguous, and through that ambiguity, we are given just enough hints and clues to cause us to want to read on. When finished, we realize that the apple of the title is one of the oldest. And why the hell is this cut off? Are you serious? Let's see if, no, it literally looks like it's cut off. That can't be right. Well, switch the page and see what happens and come back to it. I have a feeling this is going to say that I have to sign back in. Alright, I'm going to pause this maybe. No. Alright, let's go back to the page. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Where did the page go? Come back. See if we get back to Martim. Why'd you do this to me? There we go. I think. When finished, sorry for that moment, that minute lost of your life. When finished, we realize that the apple of the title is one of the oldest apples of literature, the fruit of the tree of knowledge. We are reminded that lack of communication is a theme that can be traced very deeply into man's past. As a matter of fact, it might be possible to say that the first two people who experienced difficulty in communicating were Adam and Eve. And it is interesting to note also that an apple figured heavily in that also enormously symbolic drama. Is it really interesting to note? I'm pretty sure she did it on purpose. This important book ends on a rather humble note of apology. As Martin is led away by the detectives, he apologizes just for the clumsy way he has of reaching for the apple in the dark and trying not to drop it. We might also apologize. The reviewer is an assistant professor of Spanish and Portuguese at the University of California, Riverside. All right, that's all. I believe the only other article I could find in genealogy bank was her obituary. Well, other than posthumous articles where she is brought back from the obscure void, at least in English-speaking papers anyway. I'm told that she's still rather popular in Brazil, so it seems to be an English-speaking world issue that she has become an obscurity revived. All right, goodbye.